The Agreeable Physiatrist Tax, how being easy to work with could be costing you your practice, income, and independence. The most expensive phrase in medicine may be, "That's fine, I can make it work." Physiatrists say it every day. Another patient squeezed onto the schedule, "I can make it work." Weekend coverage without additional compensation? No problem. A hospital wants more administrative responsibility but doesn't want to increase the medical director's stipend? I understand. A payer cuts reimbursement while documentation demands somehow increase? Well, that's medicine. And slowly, almost invisibly, something happens. You become incredibly easy to work with and increasingly difficult to pay fairly. The physician everyone loves until the invoice arrives. Medicine trained us to be helpful. Patients need us, hospitals need us, families need us, administrators need us. There is something deeply healing about being the physician willing to step forward when someone needs help. But there is a dangerous difference between being helpful and becoming professionally invisible. Many physiatrists confuse accommodation with professionalism. They believe saying no makes them difficult. Negotiating makes them greedy. Talking about money makes them less physician-like. So they keep bending. The problem? When you repeatedly demonstrate that your time has no boundaries, the marketplace eventually believes you. Nobody has to exploit you. Here's the uncomfortable part. The hospital administrator may not be trying to take advantage of you. Neither is the practice owner. Neither is the referral source asking you to just help us with one more thing. They are responding to the economic signals you provide. If you repeatedly accept additional work without renegotiating compensation, you teach people what your additional work costs. Nothing. One favor rarely destroys a practice. Neither does one underpaid contract. Neither does one inconvenient call weekend. The danger appears when you line up 20 of them. That is when you discover the direction has always been the same. You accommodate, they receive. Meanwhile, demand for rehabilitation medicine keeps growing. Physician bandwidth remains limited, overhead rises, and reimbursement continues to face pressure. Yet many physiatrists respond by working harder instead of building smarter. That is not a business model. That is an endurance contest. And eventually somebody loses, usually the physician. Your independence is being negotiated daily every time you accept another responsibility without understanding its economic value. You are making a business decision even if you refuse to call it one. Your schedule is economics. Your contracts are economics. Your call coverage is economics. Your documentation burden is economics. Your referral relationships are economics. And your willingness to walk away is economics. This is why understanding the business of medicine is no longer optional. The future belongs to physiatrists who understand both patient value and enterprise value. Because being clinically excellent while financially uninformed makes you incredibly valuable to someone else's business. You don't need to become difficult. The solution is not becoming confrontational, it is becoming clear. Instead of whatever works for you, try, here's what would make this arrangement sustainable. Instead of silently absorbing additional work, let's discuss how these responsibilities change the scope and compensation. Instead of immediately accepting a contract, I'd like to understand the economics before committing. That is not selfish, that is stewardship. You are protecting your family, your energy, your patients, and your ability to continue practicing medicine on your terms. And there is something incredibly hopeful about realizing you do not need permission to start doing this. You simply need knowledge. The question every physiatrist should ask. Look at the last 12 months of your professional life. How many times did you say yes because the opportunity genuinely made sense? And how many times did you say yes because you were afraid of what someone might think if you said no? That difference may explain more about your income than your RVU report ever will. Physicians do not need fewer opportunities. We need better filters. We need negotiating skills. We need financial literacy. We need systems. We need ownership. And sometimes we need someone helping us see the business patterns medical training never taught us to recognize. I have spent more than a decade practicing physiatry and building businesses around rehabilitation medicine. And one lesson keeps repeating. The physician who does not understand business eventually becomes part of someone else's business plan. You can remain kind. You can remain collaborative. You can remain easy to work with. Just stop disappearing from your own negotiations. Your practice depends on it. Question for physiatrists. What is one professional responsibility you have accepted that you would negotiate differently today? Share this with the physician who is always saying, "Don't worry, I'll handle it."